Hi! This has been a very long awaited video for me to film because I was really putting this off because I did not want to expose myself on the internet this early, but yes. So we will be talking about my Wattpad reads. For those of you who don't know what Wattpad is, it is an online ebook reading service. It is an online social reading platform intended for users to read as well as to write original stories. Anyone can write any story. You can go on Wattpad right now and write a story. You can also read, so it's a very creatively open space. You know, anyone can do anything and everything, and you can write about absolutely anything. I did too. So I first came across Wattpad in 2015, I think, when I was 12. That was the first time I came across Wattpad, when I was 12, and it started off for me with a lot of fanfic, obviously. So I was reading a lot of 5 Seconds of Summer fanfiction, a lot of Taylor Swift Adopting Me fanfiction, and that slowly transformed into reading full-fledged novels. And I used to read till like 2 a.m. and it is not a good habit to read like that, especially on Wattpad. Reading is a very good thing to do, but not things that you read on Wattpad when you're 12 years old. So I logged back into my Wattpad account, and it has been nothing short of traumatic. I don't know what was I reading and why was I reading what was I reading. And I am not the only person who was reading this. There are more than 100 million people reading the books that I read too. So I logged back into my Wattpad account for the first time after 2017. So it's been a while. I've read a lot of books on Wattpad, but I curated the ones that I found the most problematic and were also surprisingly, or not so much, but they were the most famous Wattpad books. I'm sorry, I just keep checking myself all the time because I know that sometimes it gets out of focus, and then that I don't like. Because while editing, I just see myself completely out of focus all the damn time, and then it just annoys me to really unexpected levels. So the first book that I'll be talking about, this book is called The Hoodie Girl. Absolute, I think this is one of the most popular Wattpad books that's out there. It has a cult following, and at that time I read this book in 2016. It has 81.1 million reads with 3 million votes. It has 93 parts or chapters, as you would call a normal book, and it takes about 18 hours to read, and I'm pretty convinced that I read this in like 2 days. 2 days too is a lot. I think I read it in a day. That is how badly obsessed I was with Wattpad. And the reoccurring thing with Wattpad is that it is notoriously known for bad boy, good girl kind of books, and I am guilty of reading every single one of them. I read a lot of these bad boy, good girl kind of books. The girl who is, you know, not like the other girls trope. Oh my god. That is, now I know that is problematic, but back in the day, I was being fed that unknowingly and I was consuming that a lot. I also read a lot of werewolf things about werewolves and angels and all of those supernatural things. So that was also a phase that I had. Obviously, fanfiction was there. It was, so The Hoodie Girl is about a girl called Ren Martin, who is a socially awkward girl who blocks herself out from the world by hiding behind her favorite hoodie. But what happens one day? The hoodie gets lost. And guess who finds the hoodie? The founder of her hoodie is Asher Reed, who is the notorious bad boy of the school, who also is the brother of the little girl Ren over here babysits. So while she is babysitting his younger sister, she finds out that, oh my god, he is not that bad and he has a soft spot and all of that. The entire thing, yeah. So while I logged into Wattpad, I just realized another thing that I forgot to mention before is that now it is paid. You need to pay to read books now, and there are certain books, like all the books that I'll be talking about, all of them are very famous Wattpad books from back in the day, and now they're locked. You cannot read them without paying. Hello? I mean, okay, it's fine, the writers get the money, but these books are pretty bad. You'll get what I mean. I'll just read a part of it, okay?
I can't find it anywhere. It is driving me insane. The thing that I wore the most disappeared. I now have a room from hell. Mom, I yell. Her response comes back muffled. Where is my hoodie? I'm met by a hollow silence. Hello, I repeat. Check the bottom drawer, she says. I do, and yep, it's there. Nested among all the things that I'll never wear.
Why should I pay to read this? I am not going to stand here and say that I did not read this. 12-year-old me found this thing absolutely revolutionary. I wanted to write like that. I wanted to write a book. I did write a book. I'll be talking about that later. I deleted it. It was much needed. I'm glad that it is deleted off the face of the earth. But yes, I did write a book too. And this hoodie girl trope of the good girl falling for the bad boy and all of that, turning him into a softie and all of that. Every single book that I'll be talking about has the same running story. Spoiler. Not even, what do you expect out of Wattpad books? Haven't you seen After? That too was a Wattpad book. Worst of all, it was a Wattpad fan fiction about Harry Styles. And that is now a feature film. So, the next book that I found on my reading list that is now extremely problematic, and I do not know why was I reading this. I do not know why is this not rated appropriately, because no 12-13-year-old should be reading this, because this talks about a lot of serious issues. Now looking back at it, and the title itself is called Anxiety Attack, and I think that it completely romanticizes the ideas of having mental illnesses, because it is seen that the main protagonist, the girl, is called, what is her name? Tessa O'Connell. And Tessa, I think, is a very common name in Wattpad books. Hello After, whatever.
So Tessa is a girl as ordinary as they come, or so she thinks. Her aim for senior year is just to keep her head low and get good grades.
This same storyline will continue in every single book that I'll be talking about. Okay, just keep that in mind.
And somehow she manages to convince her childhood love, Jay Stone, to love her back. But she isn't prepared for Jay's brother, Cole, to return to town, and that's where her life changes. Tall and gorgeous as hell, Cole now is a bad boy with the blue ocean eyes who is perfectly adorable and her number one enemy.
So the good girl hates the bad boy, and then they fall in love, and end of story, they have kids, and I don't know. But this completely romanticizes having anxiety or anxiety attacks. I remember a lot of us, so my friends and I know that they're watching this, and hi. And all of us were like so into this entire idea of like,
oh my god, like she had an anxiety attack and then he went there to comfort
her, and this entire picture that was painted in our heads as to a guy being a protector, saving you out of things, and you know, all of that, whatever that is. And this book, mind you, has 22.7 million reads, and all the comments, like the top comments, all of them are like, there were numerous comments that I read which said, oh my god, I completely have this problem, I think I should go to a doctor now, oh my god, I can completely relate to it. And I'm pretty convinced that these kids are not over 12, 13, 14 maybe. I'll just read a part of it. Again, this book has to be paid for, but I'll just read a part of it when she's getting an anxiety attack and the guy just goes,
oh, you look like a freak.
He deadass says that. She looks like a freak wildest. She's in the middle of having a full-blown anxiety attack. I think it is completely romanticized to have mental illnesses, which is problematic. And young kids don't know that. So I really think that Wattpad should be taking measures over here to make sure that people who are reading this stuff are of an appropriate age, at least, because I know I was too young to be reading that, and I was too young to be making sense out of all of that. So anyways, leading on to the next book, otherwise I'll just keep blabbering on about how problematic this entire trope is. The next one is called The Bad Boys Girl, and it has a whopping 223 million reads and 4.2 million likes, and it is a 18-hour 41-minute long reading time. It takes that much for you to read this. As the title suggests, it's the bad boy and the good girl, and they fall in love with each other. Let me tell you what the warning says for this, and it says, warning,
the story comes with a bad boy notorious for making you swoon, including hysterical laughter and making you question whether you could purchase a clone on eBay.
It is there in the very beginning of the book. I mean, I don't think I need to explain anything. Why was I reading? What was I reading? I don't know. The next book is a PG version of 50 Shades of Grey, and it's called The Girl He Never Noticed, and it is about this woman working in a cafe. She has these big huge glasses, and then this billionaire just comes in her cafe one day, and then he falls in love with the way that she makes his coffee. That is the story. That is the main plot of the story, trust me. And then he hires her, and then she becomes his personal assistant, and then they both fall in love, make children, and that's it. And then there is this entire trope of this some other person who's jealous of her trying to hire a new assistant, but then the billionaire guy is like, no.
I miss her coffee. I want her back.
I hope that I was kidding. I am not. This is what the story is about. This story has 223 million reads and 6.9 million likes. I wish I was kidding. This is what the story is about. So this billionaire person, he hires a woman just because he loves the way that she makes his coffee. And there are a lot of other things that I will not be talking about because I just don't want to. Again, another WATTPAD cult classic is the Stay With Me, She's With Me series. It is now a published book. So let me just put that over into your face. WATTPAD does publish its authors. So this book, She's With Me, it's about a girl called Amelia Collins, and she has this very dark past. She has daddy issues. She just came from a very, very low point in her life to a new high school. She meets there Aaron Parker and his group of very, very good-looking men, his friends. And Aaron Parker, he has 2 younger brothers. He also has daddy issues. His mother passed away. He is raising his 2 brothers through racing. He's a racer in high school who makes millions of bucks every single night he races. And Amelia just falls in love with him, and then Amelia's dad just comes up out of nowhere and he has like murdered people, and then there's this entire tussle, and then there's the second part of the book which is called Stay With Me, and it just revolves around this story how Aiden helps Amelia get over her dad and all of that, and then they have kids and then it ends. I think the kids also have a sequel to them. Not that I have read that, but I think that there is a sequel to the kid story, and this now too is paid. So, and this book has 142 million reads, and it is published now, so I really don't know how much it makes. Another Wattpad version of 50 Shades of Grey is called Chasing Red, where the main protagonist falls in love with a girl who has red hair, whom he sees in the club dancing, and then this girl, she just was at a very low point at that time that she was out there dancing, and usually she wears a black wig because she does not want the world to know that she has red hair. And then he falls in love with her, and this guy also is a millionaire, by the way.
College heartthrob Caleb Lockhart is the last person a girl like Victoria Stanford should be involved with. She is intelligent, ambiguous, and has a good reason to stay out of the world and to remain undercovers.
All of these have the same plot that I was just consuming day after day after day after day. So before this gets too long about the bad boy good girl stories, there are another honorable mentions that I'll be talking about. It's called the cell phone swap, and as the name suggests, the bad boy and the good girl swap cell phones. And it has a whopping 124 million reads. Again, then there is Dorm Room 210, and it is basically about how these 2 roommates in a college, this entire room has the story of having soulmates coming out of it, and then these 2 also follow the trend. Then there is the bad boy and the tomboy, because she's not like other girls, obviously that trope has to continue. And then there's the bad boys game. Again, what was I reading? Now, moving on to the fan fictions, which I started off with. I had a lot of Haylor fan fiction going on because I loved Taylor and Harry. Still love them, both of them. So this Taylor and Harry fan fiction was called Good Girl Faith.
And a tight little skirt.
But yeah, so they both end up getting married, having children. It was all that my Haylor heart wanted. And there was also one called The Way I Loved You, and a Taylor Swift story where Taylor adopts you because you're the main character is YN. That is your name. I don't regret reading that because she adopts the main protagonist and then they both have a gala time. So I will still read that. That still applies to me. And now coming on to the other kind of fan fiction. I was reading a lot of 5 Seconds of Summer, specifically Luke Hemmings fan fiction. One was called After We Collide, and it was a complete rom-com book. Almost just remove Luke from it and you get a complete, like, you know, the Notebook kind of vibes. So that was that, After We Collide. I also read Kidnapped by 5 Sauce. There was this one just called Luke. It was just called Luke. And there's one book called Bullied by Luke Hemmings. I don't know what was I reading and why was I reading what was I reading. Oh my god. And then there is my werewolf era when I was reading a lot of werewolf things. So one book that I read was called Human Luna, and it has 30 million reads. And the main protagonist was shown as Selena Gomez. So the main protagonist is actually an angel in disguise. She doesn't know that she has powers. And then one day she's in her school and this just random guy just comes up to her. Then the guy goes, mine. So the thing with werewolves is that you have a mate, like animals have mates, so werewolves have mates, and then they have the alpha, beta, whatever, human, Luna. So Luna is basically the mate of the alpha male. It works like that. Anyhow, so this Amelia girl, she's actually very scared and petrified of wolves. Why, you ask? Because wolves were the ones who killed her dad. And when she finds out that, oh my god, this person is actually my mate, and then they have this entire pack fight, one werewolf pack versus another werewolf pack, the Luna, the main protagonist, just comes up with powers and turns out she's an angel. Now looking back at it, I don't think it was that bad. Saying this out loud, it doesn't sound that bad. It is a very nice, supernatural fiction book, but the way that it was written was... I don't think that you can expect better books to be written by literal teenagers on the internet. Not published authors, just teenagers on the internet. Not that I did not write, and this was still way better than what I wrote. I'm glad and a half that I deleted that and it does not exist anywhere on the internet anymore. I am glad. I am so glad. Another book, supernatural book, was Bad Boy with the Wings. Again, the bad boy, but this time he's an actual angel, like an actual angel. Have you seen the movie Fallen? Like that angel. So that wraps up a lot of the Wattpad books that I read, and a lot of these books just were, when I was going back, when I logged back into Wattpad, I was like, what was I thinking? Why was I reading these books? These books are not meant to be read by children. I was a child, and it has scarred me for life, and specifically the fan fiction and the good girl bad boy things. Oh my god, why? It just completely instilled the fact that, I'm not like other girls. It's a good thing to be, and it is completely normalized. It is completely romanticized. Also, what is romanticized were having mental illnesses and having a dark past and all of those things. So those books actually did very well on Wattpad, which, I don't know, says a lot, I think, about how things are put forward in the society just to profit out of it. And now these things are paid for, and now you have to pay for these books, and it's not even that good. Trust me on that one. And these books are made into movies now. I don't know what is happening. But let's go on to my profile, shall we? Because now I want to roast myself, because we do that over here. We just don't roast other people, we also roast ourselves. My about says, if you're the ghost and I can be your phantom, and the location is eating pizza, and it says, join March 18, 2015. I joined this on my friend's birthday, I don't know what is that. And it says, that's just real cliched. And I remember being obsessed with the word cliched after reading The Fault in Our Stars. Can you make out that I was a very extremely cringy teenager from 2016? A really wannabe Wattpad Tumblr girl. That was my entire personality back in the day. My last message is on October 15th, 2017, and it says, okay, I am deleting my book. I swear to god, it says that. It says my username, October 15th, 2017, 1:53 p.m. Okay, ... I'm deleting my book. I am so glad I did that. I am so glad I did that, because I had these... Let me tell you what my book was about before wrapping up real quick. So my book was called Lost on the Way. It was about a girl who was a mountaineer. Obviously, she was in high school and she wanted to climb Mount Everest. Why, you ask? Because why not? And her best friend, she falls in love with her best friend. Obviously, because why not? And her best friend is a bad boy. Why not? Who has a very good personality, but nobody else knows that but her, because why not? And then she gets lost on the way to the Everest, and then the guy comes and finds her and has this entire evacuation plan. I never got that far in the book. That was the basic premise that I wanted to revolve around. My camera stopped recording automatically for some reason, because I think that it is getting a little too cringed out by my dark, cringy past of Wattpad. So I will stop now. I hope you all lived a little bit of trauma with me, because some people I know who are watching this surely did. And we were invested, oh my god, we used to be invested in Wattpad and all of these bad boy, good girl kind of stories. And we used to like literally wake up till 2 a.m. reading these books. We used to read them in one entire day. I don't know what we were doing, what we were on. clearly on something that was not really good for us. Anyhow, I'll go have dinner now. And I'll see you soon. Delhi Diaries, I will have more episodes to that because everything is opening up now. Let's not jinx that. I know you guys like watching those kind of videos more. I like to shoot those kind of videos more and edit those videos more, but these videos are necessary, trust me. I want to look back at these videos and just die laughing. But yeah, that's it. I'll go have food. Bye!